Hello, everyone. I'm John Newstreet, President and CEO of the Kissimmee Osceola County Chamber of Commerce, bringing you another webcast to our series. This one's very special. It's near and dear to my heart. In a past life, I was privileged to be the past department adjutant of the American Legion here in Florida. And so that's an organization that represents all veterans, and especially combat veterans. And so I was very privileged to serve alongside some of our true heroes. And we wanted to take today, Veterans Day, to recognize some of the heroes that are in our ranks here in our community, in our chamber. And so while the American Legion may have a tagline, "Still Serving America," here they are still serving you in our own backyard. And so that brings us to the tagline we have at the chamber, our mission statement: champions for business and community. And we have a great champion in Orlando Health who has sponsored today's program. Without further ado, let's get to know some of these veterans and good friends to the chamber. So I'll have them introduce each other and talk about not only who they are, but the business that they are in, as well as the service that they wore the uniform for. So if I may start with Alex de Jorge up on the top right corner. Alex, talk to us about you, your business, and your service, please.
Well, good afternoon, John. Hello, everybody. My name is Alex de Jorge, and I am the agency owner for Brightway Insurance. We specialize in personal lines insurance here in the local Kissimmee, Orlando area, and I proudly served for 10 years in the U.S. Army as a flight medic. So very happy to do that.
Outstanding. I'll transition here to another Army veteran in the lower left side here, Crystal Bethea, owner of Riviera Spa Massage. Talk to us about you, your business, and your service, please.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? Thanks for having me on. My name is Crystal Bethea. Used to be a part of the Army maybe 20 years back. I'm the owner of Riviera Spa, and we focus heavily on our veterans and holistic health. When it comes to mental and physical stability, we want to try to find natural ways and remedies to try to, focus on that and turn the situations around for our veterans in our community. So, yeah.
Very good. And our final veteran for today, but certainly not the least, is Jose Dominguez. Jose, talk to us about you, your business, and your service, please.
Yes, John, thank you. And thank you guys for the opportunity. Jose Dominguez is my name. I served in the Navy for a great 24 years. I've been retired now for going on 5 years, and my first job was at Orlando Health, and I've been here since. I'm a physical therapist by trade, have a PhD in rehab sciences, and currently manage the acute inpatient rehabilitation facility here in downtown at ORMC. So great to be here. Wonderful experience throughout my 24 years, and happy to talk to you guys.
Outstanding. So I'm going to reverse the order and start with you, Jose. I was privileged to serve in the Coast Guard for just 18 months, but it was a transformative 18 months. They taught me respect, discipline, all sorts of things in just that short period of time. And it's really set the stage for the future beyond my service. Sacrifice is certainly a big part of wearing the uniform. But there are many lessons that we all learn in the service. So if you might talk to us about some of those lessons that you took from your service and how they translate into the work you do today, I'd love to hear that.
Oh, absolutely. And everything that you mentioned and then some. I came into the Navy at the young age of 17 and quickly learned discipline. As they like to say, they tear you apart and then build you back up. And that could not be, I think all of us can relate to that here in this panel. But the discipline, the work ethic, showing you that your work is valued, you going day to day and being there, being present because of all the sacrifices and so forth, that was evident in my promotion through the ranks. It was not taken for granted. I thankfully never noticed any favoritism and so forth. It was really the work that you did, what you did in the front line, what you did for your for your fellow service members is what was valued. So I truly appreciate that, and I try to bring that into what I do today. Work ethic, of course, but also valuing those team members and what they're doing, in my case, for our patients, what they're doing for each other, to improve themselves, to not be stuck. And that's another great lesson as I moved into the officer ranks. You were given opportunities, but if you don't take those opportunities, if you're not able and willing to continue to grow as a individual, then they will after a certain time, after certain promotional cycles, they will sort of show you a way out. So either you move up or move out. So I try to bring that a little bit of that here at Orlando Health, instill it in my therapists so they can continue to grow, be better, constantly improving themselves as clinicians, as employees. So those are all great lessons that I took from the military. Not sure if I would be doing it had I not been part of that service.
Absolutely. And they call when you start as an enlisted and go to officers, is that a Mustang? Is that
correct?
So
yes.
That's a very special class of folks that have seen both sides, followed and led, and so even higher lessons learned in that. I'm sure we could talk for an hour about all of that. So, Crystal, if you could talk to us about your time in the military, some of the lessons learned, and how that translates into how you operate your business now.
Absolutely. I mean, when it comes to the lessons, I mean, first and foremost is being able to follow direction. Having a keen sight to detail and, paying attention to your surroundings and being able to adapt and, any situation. And of course, when it comes to customer service, you have to be able to operate off the fly. You're not going to always have, happy customers. And sometimes when it comes to, people being in pain, you definitely have to have the most patience. With that clientele base, just to be able to understand. Being able to bring that to my business has been a huge highlight of just patience and staying the course. I've been able to build my protocols and things, and it was able to outline individually from certain treatment plans to for different sicknesses and stuff like that. I've been able to train my staff with not just flying off the cuff. Yes, there are some things you have to customize, but I think it's good to have a basis, to go off of, at least to start by, and then you can kind of make it your own from there. So I love the sense of direction that I've gotten from it, and being able to, apply it as far as service and all the things for our veterans and for our community has been paramount for my business.
And Alex, for those who know Alex, he's high energy, and that doesn't fit into the ranks of the Army. So I don't know how you survived the Army or how you transitioned here into the real workforce. But glad to have you in our ranks, and just talk to us about your Army and some of the lessons you bring into the workplace.
Well, I have to be honest, John. Transitioning from the military to civilian life, it has taken me quite a bit of time, just because the nature of the way the military works is a whole different world. With that being said, one of the things that you learn there, obviously, besides hard work, is paying attention to detail, obviously loyalty, and being focused on what the mission is. In this particular case, my mission is my business and what I do, and I try to make sure that I bring out the very best, not only myself, but the people working with me, to make sure that we give the best possible service there is. I would have to say that had I not gone into the military, I think it would have been a different person in terms of how I tend to do things. So it's just one of those things that you get taught and you do it so often that it becomes second nature. And it just allows you to be a more confident person, because that's one thing the military does. Doesn't matter what the branch is, there's still confidence in you. They allow you to build up your own confidence so that you're able to tackle anything that you may come across with, whether it be professionally, whether it be personally, or whatever the case may be. And it just allows you to be a better person. So I am extremely, extremely grateful to have served for the time that I was there. It surely made an impact in myself, and it makes that impact even with my family. I still do some things the military way. I actually still fold my clothes in a military manner. So I don't allow my wife to fold my clothes at all. That's just mine. I have to have it that way. So.
So Alex, that's funny. I do the same, and I as if I'm going to sea, right, Jose, where you got to fit it into like a 2x2 foot
exactly.
square.
That's right.
In my household, I am the packer master. I know how to pack a lot of things into very small places.
Right.
So when it comes time for packing or luggage or anything like that, my wife usually calls me and, here, you handle this and, get it done.
Right. That's funny that we all still do that. I still follow my gig line, right? So
Exactly. Oh,
my
most
belt
certainly.
buckle, yeah,
Most certainly.
Crystal, I'm going to come back to you and ask you to see if you can recall a funny story in your days in uniform that just, created a great memory for you and shows how different life in the military can be.
It still makes me laugh when I think about this a situation that I had in the AIT where my drill sergeant, he didn't set the course or explain it first. He just got up on this ledge. We looking up at him as he was talking. He's like, "Yes, soldier, this is how you have to do it." He just turned around. You got to trust each other. And just plummeted. He just turned around and just did a little topple. And we didn't realize we were supposed to be latching arms. So he fell a good 5-6 feet, just hit the ground. And we were like, "Oh, we did it this time. We're some trouble." So I guess the lesson I took from that is that, common sense isn't the same for everybody. And don't get caught off guard. You have to be able to operate off the fly.
So on the fly, no pun intended, right? And, as leaders, we recognize the importance of communication. So
Yes.
the good news is, if he fell 5 feet onto his back, he was probably out of breath and couldn't scream at you. So you had a little reprieve there for a little bit, right?
Right.
Which is always nice to get from a drill instructor. Well, thanks for sharing that. Jose, do you have a story you can share?
Yeah. That I can share. That's going to be a little difficult, right?
Right.
But I do remember in my time at Bethesda Naval Hospital, which is now Walter Reed. I'm pretty sure everybody knows that that's where the president goes and his whole cabinet and so forth. And there's a team that's dedicated to the treatment or to manning, staffing that unit when the president comes, or vice president, or any of his family members. And I had the privilege of being part of that team back in the early 90s. I wore a little pager, and I thought I was a E4 walking around with this pager and this red badge and so forth. Had access, master keys to the entire hospital and so forth. And President Bill Clinton comes in, and he's going through all his tests and so forth. And I'm going with security, and I'm opening doors and whatnot. And the master chief, he brings his own chef. And then this time it was a master chief, a Navy master chief that came with him. We had a kitchen up in that unit and so forth. And they come to me and say, "Hey, can we get some orange juice?" I'm like, "Sure, there's some right there in the fridge." And I open it up. It's like, no. The president likes them freshly squeezed. I'm like, "Oh, okay." So here I am running to the cafeteria to get freshly squeezed orange juice. And these people are looking at me like, "You want what? We don't serve that here." I'm like, "No, look at my badge. Here's who I'm with. Can you give me some freshly squeezed orange juice?" And they had to get their officer in charge to come out and see who this little E4 guy was that wanted freshly squeezed orange juice to bring to the president. And of course I couldn't tell him, exactly who it was for, although we had snipers in the roof and whatnot, but I wasn't supposed to tell them what it was for in case they tainted it, I guess. But yeah, that was a interesting story that I'll never forget. And
Sure.
I'm rushing through the hospital, through the halls of the hospital with this freshly squeezed orange juice for President Clinton. Yeah.
Wow.
And at the end of his stay, he had the audacity to say that he felt like he was treated like a regular patient.
One of the rare instances an E4 can tell an 06 what to do, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Alex, you got a story you can share?
Actually, I do, and it goes back to basic training. Back in my days when I was in the Army, we had what is called BDUs, battle dress uniform. And, during basic training, you get issued all your equipment and all your uniforms. Well, little did I know that when you are issued your battle dress uniforms, there are actually two types, a winter and a summer. And so, we get issued uniforms. The next day we get up for formation. We're out in formation. Here comes the drill sergeant, kind of inspecting the ranks. And he gets to me and he just looks at me and he just goes off. He just goes off. He's screaming at me. He's calling me all types of names. And at the end, he goes, "What is wrong with you?" And I said, I don't know. What's wrong?" And he goes, "You don't know what is wrong with your uniform?" And I looked at my uniform. I kept looking at my uniform and said, "Well, I got my boots, I got my brown underwear, I got my brown shirt, I got everything, dog tags. I don't know." And he just kept screaming at me, and I'm just sitting here thinking, "Oh my God, I'm dead here." And he asked the person next to me, if he knew what was wrong with me. He goes, "Yeah, he's got a winter BDU top and a summer BDU bottom. I mismatched the uniforms. How do I know?" But it was a good laugh for everybody else, and a lesson learned very quickly.
Right.
So
right.
It goes to show you just the way that it is.
I love it. Well, a lot of lessons, a lot of memories for us, and a lot of lessons learned. And I think it's made us all better business professionals and leaders in the community. So I want to thank each of you for joining us today, for sharing some insights from all that you've sacrificed to learn, so that we can remember that those of our comrades who never came home but gave all that they gave so that we could vote, so that we could live in freedom, aren't forgotten. And so thank you to all the veterans who are watching today for your sacrifice. The old saying, "All gave some gave all gave some," is very powerful, and it speaks to the fact that we will remember. So the folks on this panel, like many other veterans around, are still serving America. And on top of that, we are champions for business community. So thank each of the veteran panelists today. Thank you, Orlando Health, for sponsoring, and thanks for helping to make our community a little stronger and better. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you so much.
Thank
you all.
Thank you.